Hi, my name's Youngju, and I'm going to be talking today about spin vision and the extremely impressive ocular system of the mantis shrimp. There are many species of mantis shrimp within the Stomatopoda order, but today I'm going to be focusing on the peacock mantis shrimp, scientific name Odontodactylus ciliaris. Ciliaris is a colorful shrimp that resides primarily in shallow, subtropical regions of the ocean, typically constructing or claiming burrows and feeding on clams, snails, and other mollusks. They're also fiercely territorial and will defend their burrows aggressively from intruders, even other mantis shrimp. In general, mantis shrimps are most famous for their blindingly fast front appendages, which are used to either impale or crush prey at speeds in excess of 50 miles per hour, about as fast as a .22 caliber bullet, which is fast enough to boil the surrounding water and create cavitation bubbles that collapse into shockwaves, further injuring the prey. You can see the extreme power of the strike on a poor crab in this image. They're also well known for their vision, however. Mantis shrimps have the most granular color vision in the world, Ciliaris in particular, sporting 12 distinct color-based photoreceptors, compared to our meager 3, that allow it to see with extreme color detail, even into the UV spectrum. That being said, the mantis shrimp faces a number of interesting physiological challenges that have pushed it to develop such fascinating morphology. One of those challenges is underwater optics. As an organism that survives primarily by hunting prey through single, fast, short-range attacks, the mantis shrimp must line up its shot very accurately prior to committing to an attempt. In a murky underwater environment that constantly is polarizing, reflecting, and absorbing the light, this can be extremely difficult. Furthermore, as a territorial creature, the mantis shrimp needs a reliable way to communicate with both potential mates and challengers without attracting unwanted attention from predators. Perhaps surprisingly, the mantis shrimp has developed an adaptation that solves both its hunting and communication problems: sensitivity to polarized light. To date, the mantis shrimp is the only order of organisms known to display sensitivity to circularly polarized light. This, in addition to the hexnocular vision granted by 3 distinct subsections per eye, allows it to see much more clearly in the ocean, triangulating its distance and also allowing it to detect polarized light that is reflected off the scales or shells of potential prey. The shrimp also exhibits a behavioral adaptation of independent mobility of the eye stalks, which it uses to roll and reposition its eyes to maximize sensitivity to the incoming circularly polarized light. In addition, Ciliaris has evolved unique body structures that themselves circularly polarize light upon reflection. By posturing and positioning these structures at various angles, as you can see in this image, the mantis shrimp is capable of reflecting that light to serve as a signal to other members of its species, thereby communicating both in courtship rituals and territorial displays. Since other animals aren't privy to this polarized conversation, the mantis shrimp remains safe from potential predation. Now, I hypothesize that the primary mechanism of this polarized light sensitivity is a particular geometry in some ring-shaped fashion of photoreceptors in the shrimp retina, which then detects when incoming light is polarized and hits them in a spiraling pattern. An alternative would be, for example, that the lenses of those eyes themselves refract or polarize light. You could determine this by experiment by collecting mantis shrimp specimens, sacrificing them, and then fixing those ocular structures, and using cryo-electron microscopy, cryo-EM, to yield a high-fidelity image that would allow you to determine the presence or absence of ring-like photoreceptor morphology. In this experiment, we'd have a treatment group of samples collected from Odontodactylus ciliaris, a negative control of analogous retina samples from similar mantis shrimp without sensitivity to circularly polarized light, and a positive control of an artificial structure such as a man-made quarter wave plate which achieves the same circular polarization. This isn't a great positive control, but since the mantis shrimp is the only known organism that can detect circularly polarized light, it's hard to find a better alternative. The ethics statement is shown below. Now, for predicted outcomes, assuming the hypothesis is true, you will see an image analysis of the EM microscopy a ring-like morphology of mantis shrimp photoreceptors, which will be notably absent in organisms from the negative control. Assuming the hypothesis is false, you will see the opposite. You will see no compelling evidence of ring-like morphology in the mantis shrimp photoreceptors. All right, just before I finish, I wanted to put in a quick side note. Mantis shrimps have inspired so much interesting research and technology. They've helped improve the design of quarter wave plates that polarize light. They've served to inspire some extremely strong bio-inspired materials from the clubs, and even cancer diagnoses based on detecting cancer cells that polarize light in a different way from healthy cells. So it seems like the possibilities are endless to learn from nature. All right, that's all I've got. Here are my sources, and again, thanks so much for your time.